Let me turn my razor clams, frying and simply in an egg wash. And an egg wash means 2 eggs and several tablespoons of water. There we go. Oh, those will be done in just a second. Smith, don't overdo the egg clams. I mean the fried clams. That's terrible. All right. Now in our other pan, I'm going to bread. Where did I put my clams? Here we are. I'm going to bread some of these beautiful little butter clams. They're very small, you see. Butter clams, or of course you can use the manila clam. I think these are manilas. We'll just lightly bread them with cracker crumb. That should be enough. And then we're going to fry them. Excuse me. Losing my towel here. I need that. You see I'm not wiping my hands on my apron? Would you stop writing those letters? Actually, I do love your letters. You know that. But the letter about the don't wipe your hands on your apron really cracks me up, and I'm still getting them. I've told you several times I can't stop because that's the way I cook. All right. These will melt down. Again, I'm going to put a tiny bit of olive oil or peanut oil in the butter to keep it from burning. See, olive oil burns at a much higher temperature. As a matter of fact, it has to get very hot, so you really don't have to worry about it. I'm going to change burn. Look at the clams. They're done. The big ones are done. I'll get them off the burner. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at them. They're done now. Let me serve these. Quickly, quickly, quickly before we lose out. I don't want to burn them. There we are. If you overcook these, they have a tendency to be a little bit tough. You can understand that. Some of you tell me that you don't like squid, and you know I love squid. So the problem is that you're cooking the squid too long. You don't want to do that. Let me get a lemon wedge on these. That's how you would serve them. Oh, these are terrific. One of my favorite memories from my childhood. And you understand that in this series, what we're trying to talk about is remembering those dishes that you enjoyed so much as a kid. And this is really one of the classics. Fried razor clams. And don't even ask me to ship you some or talk to you about it because it's not going to happen. You're not going to get any, I'm afraid. All right, the fried clams now. I've simply put them in cracker meal. This is how they're cooked at a place in Tacoma, Washington, called the Harbor Lights. It's run by a wonderful woman, a crazy friend of many, many years. She's just one of those friends that you'd tell anything to because you know you're going to get a laugh, even if it's a bad joke. She's just wonderful. And she's a fine cook and runs a place called Harbor Lights. And I called Lemoyne this morning. And I said, Lemoyne, please, I'm in Chicago. I'm cooking like mad. Give me the secret to your fried clams. And she laughed and she said, nothing but cracker meal and butter. I go in there and have these for lunch with a glass of wine on the side. There we go. I'll turn those in just a minute. Just let them barely brown. We don't want to overdo this. I go into Lemoyne's Harbor Lights and have a plate of these with my lunch and a glass of wine, and because that's it. I don't go work anymore. I go back home and sit around and stare at the computer and read cookbooks, and I don't work much more. It's too delicious. All right. Let's try, let's see, what else we have going here? Oh, I have another one for you that I think you'll really enjoy. Let me, there we are. There we are. Let me show you what happens if you cut up one of these necks, one of these big necks. This is the razor, the gooey duck. This one isn't particularly large, so let's use it. What I'm going to do is to slit it down the side so that we can open it up. Mom used to do this. She didn't have much money in those days for a budget, and we always ate very well. There, just open it up. You see, there are 2 valves in this thing. Matter of fact, it's called a bivalve. I think that's the reason. There are two holes in this neck. I think one is marked entrance and one is marked exit. I'm not sure what it is. All right? Now, we're going to pound that with a meat pounder, wooden meat pounder. Quiet, clams. And tenderize it. I can make more noise if you're interested. I have a band in the back here. All right. Pound that out. You see, pound that out and then flour it. And then fry, just as I've done the clams. Let me turn those now. Fried in butter. Let me turn these rascals. Oh, boy, gorgeous. Wow. I'd better turn down the heat here. They're going to be, I think they're about finished. I think gorgeous. Look at that, you see? That's almost enough for lunch for me. Maybe enough for 2 other people, I don't know. Now, back to the gooey duck. You pound out a steak of the neck, you see, and then flour him and pan fry him. Let me show him to you. I've got him in the oven here. I've already done a couple of these. I don't have enough room to cook all these things for him. Where'd he go? I swear he was in here a while back. Well, maybe he's not in the oven. Here, here he is. Wait, here he is. Here he is. Here's the fried gooey duck neck. I cut the neck in half the long way. and it makes wonderful eating, very delicious. And it's very sweet. This particular meat is very, very sweet. So you can enjoy it. I know it's a little bit tough. Then the neck that big has got to be tough. Some neck, huh? But it's very sweet and very delicious. The clams are finished. Let me find a platter for them here. There we are. This is one of my very dear favorites. Wonderful fried clams. Please don't overcook these. It's very important that you remember that, because otherwise they're going to be very tough, and you don't want that. You don't want that at all. There we go. I have many more dishes with clams, many more, and we'll see. Where's some chopped parsley for the top, just for kicks, huh? You know, if you serve fried clams in the East, you know what you'd do? You'd toast up a batch. Let me see the clams out here for you. Let me rearrange these so that we can see what we've got going. Tell you, they're all over the place. All right, there are the fried Pacific Northwest clams, or Japanese clams. And if you were doing this in Vermont, you would crack open some of those little biscuits that I showed you. You see, split them in half and broil them with butter and put those on the table, and it makes a wonderful, wonderful lunch. Move some clams, and you know, the big problem here, these gooey ducks are not paying their rent. They're taking up the whole counter. Let me get them out of the way. All right, now then, let me show you what else I have in the oven. Here's a quick trick for you, for making another dish that's common in the East. Remember I told you, come on, potholders, here it is, told you that the Indians kept us alive, us meaning the bad guys, the outsiders. I know the Indian tribe has got to be sorry now. All tribes are sorry. They were nomads, and they were good to us. They gave everything they could, and we continued to take advantage of them. One of the things that we got from them, of course, was corn and clam. And if you want to make a soup that'll knock them dead, put a couple cans of cream of corn in a bowl, or in a pot, rather. And to that, you want to add a bit of cream or milk. And then you want to add a handful of chopped clams. There. Oh, all right. Add some cayenne or some Tabasco if you insist. As a matter of fact, I think I would like to do that myself. It's very good. Okay. I don't see my Tabasco. Well, that's all right. Put some Tabasco or cayenne in this if you care, or just black pepper would be wonderful. Let that cook for just a minute, because those clams are cut up, you see, and you don't want them to be tough. There. I think that's enough. Little pepper. I've already tasted the soup for salt, because it's the canned product already has salt in it. If you want to use frozen corn, that's fine with me. I think you'd enjoy that even more. Let's put that on the counter. So we now have a clam and corn chowder, which is very simple and terribly, terribly American. Terribly American in the sense that it's two basic products from the very beginning of our culture. There we go. All right, now one more is coming up here. If you fry grated potatoes and onions with a few clams, you're going to come up with, well, dare I call it a clam latke? Hardly orthodox, I know. Jews don't eat shellfish because of an ancient rule. Where did they go? Oh, they're back here. I've got so many things in so many spots today. My dad used to make this for me when I was a kid. Clam pancakes, which were really simply corn. Stop that. Scratch, all right? It was potato, grated potato, and onion, along with a little egg, salt and pepper. Got that? And then, of course, some clams. And you fried those in a little oil. Wonderful eating, just wonderful. Let's see what else I have in the oven, all right? I'm waiting to see, too. I don't know what's left in here. It's beginning to surprise me. Oh, of course, we're talking about Boston chowder. This was from Turner's. Can I find a spot here? Yes. This is from Turner's. Wonderful eating house in Boston. Good old clam chowder. You just can't beat chowder. There it is. And this is New England style, you see. No tomato. Oh, there's a long threat of pain if you put tomatoes in clams in New England. They'll kill you, I swear. They just won't let you live through it. All right, one more coming up. They're ready. Let's get the clams out. Here we go. This is simply too much. Let me find a big dipper here. Where is my big dipper? Here it is. I want to save the nectar. That's what you kill for. Not for the clams themselves, but for the nectar. There it is. And we'll dish these up and listen to them come screaming. At least everyone will come screaming but Jason. Patty will come screaming. Channing will come screaming. I will come screaming. But Jason will not do well on clams. But when he was a child, he went down to Lemoyne's with me to the Harbor Lights, and he ate clams just like this very dish. And then he insisted on taking all the shells home. All of these shells. And I said, Jason, why do you want all the shells? He was about 4, maybe 3, about 3. What do you want all the shells for? And he said, Dad, they're for my clamshell collection. Well, all right, I thought that was kind of cute, you see. So he kept them. A month and a half later, the basement where his room is smelled. Oh, it was awful. He saved all of the clamshells in a bucket in his closet. We're still airing out those clothes. But he has a clamshell collection. Finally, one more quickie for you. I'm going to put a bit of, I'll find a burner here. I'm going to put a bit of cream and olive oil and garlic in a pan and heat it up and then put in a few clams. And we're going to make a clam cream sauce, which will go over pasta. This dish is very, very simple, and it's very dramatic. I'll show you right now. Heat up the pasta here, and it's the kind of thing that brings them to their knees. While that's cooking, one more. I don't have time for the recipe for this one, but this is another Northwest favorite. These are stuffed clams, and something like this is served at a joint called Ivor's Acres of Clams. And Ivor's an old friend of mine. The old boy died a few months ago, and I really lament his death. He was a wonderful fellow, and he had a restaurant called Acres of Clams. It's still there. And his staff are so devoted to him that they're still selling clams like mad. And this is one of the really wonderful things in the menu called stuffed clams. I'll give you the recipe one of these days. Please, if you find that you're watching the show and the recipes aren't in the cookbook, please don't be frustrated with me, because eventually I'll get those recipes to you in a cookbook, you see, but I can only cook so fast and only write so fast. All right, the pasta will go on this platter, and today we have celebrated the wonder of the clam, an old food product that's been with us since the very, very beginning of our culture. Get in there, you. Sit down. Okay. And we'll put some clam sauce on this, a white clam, you see. A little garnish certainly wouldn't hurt. A bit of parsley, and you're set. I have prepared for you today old American food, perhaps with a new twist in the front. That doesn't matter. But this wonderful stuff. I have a clam sauce on pasta. I have cherry stone clams for Patty, and clams and wine for Jeff and the rest of the crowd, and fried gooey duck necks, and fried clams, and stuffed clams, and biscuits, and clam chowder, all from the good old clam. Till I see you again, eat well. This is the Frugal Gourmet. I bid you peace. Bye-bye.